Welcome everyone and to another NFL Korner. I'm your host Nick Stano, and like always, I'm joined by my hosts Anthony Benelli and Stephen Peltier. For once, we're gonna see Benelli's face today for the entire thing. Yeah, he's finally sitting, and he's got a paper. That's important too.
It's all from up here.
Exactly. We have two big topics to cover today, but first, let's talk about some NFL news stories. Starting off, we have Steelers star wide receiver Antonio Brown, who joined voluntary workouts on Monday. He had been originally holding out for a new deal, even because he really deserves to get paid by the Steelers, but he decided to show up. We have a couple stories out of Miami, both involving Dion Jordan. The Dolphins' defensive end hadn't shown up for any voluntary workouts, and Miami was not commenting on the situation. But an hour ago, according to Adam Schefter, Dion Jordan will be suspended for the entire 2015 season due to violating the substance abuse policy again, which means
Josh Gordon life, baby.
Yeah, Miami might be switching up what they're doing in the draft because of that. The Jets will be fined $100,000 in Darrelle Revis' tampering case, but they will not lose draft picks. A while ago, they had been accused of it by the Patriots of tampering with Revis during the season. It all started with the Jets owner's comments and kind of trickled down from there. Missouri defensive end linebacker NFL prospect Shane Ray, a potential first-rounder, was cited for possession of marijuana Monday. He already had his first-round draft stock hurt, potentially due to a foot injury, so we'll see how that goes. And Cowboys defensive end Greg Hardy had an altercation that escalated when a teammate referred to his domestic violence issues. That's perfect. That is really perfect. Greg Hardy, you are the smartest person ever. You deserve to go here. Got a bunch of fifth-year options happening this week. The Redskins are picking up RG3's fifth-year option. The option is worth $16.1 million. The Panthers have picked up the fifth-year option for captain star linebacker Luke Kuechly. That option is worth $11.1 million, fully guaranteed. The Lions have picked up their fifth-year option for offensive tackle Riley Reiff. This is a good move because the Lions have had a pretty solid, terrible offensive line for the past couple of years. The Chiefs picked up defensive tackle Dontari Poe's fifth-year option as well. He's one of the best young defensive tackles in the league, so that's a solid move for the Chiefs, who are working to get a long-term deal for Justin Houston. Giants quarterback Eli Manning has said that he is fine this upcoming season without a new deal or extension. He's entering the final year of his current deal, which was a 7-year, $107 million contract. Speaking of the Chiefs, GM John Dorsey said earlier this week that the team and Chiefs linebacker Justin Houston's reps have had multiple conversations in working out a long-term deal, and they're not too worried about getting a deal done before July. Titans have signed former Colts wide receiver Hakeem Nicks to a one-year deal. The Jets will be focusing on the draft first, and then we'll start talking to defensive tackle Muhammad Wilkerson, who is holding out for a long-term deal. And also, according to Adam Schefter, he might be traded because there's a couple teams that have shown solid interest in trading for him. So we'll see how that works.
New England.
Who would they trade for him? All right, dear man.
I'm kidding.
Who would the Patriots trade for Wilkerson?
I don't know. Their first-round pick.
If that was it, yes. He's 25 years old.
That's all that it's worth. I'd do that.
Yeah,
I would That guy's nasty.
I would give my first-round pick this year and next year for him.
That line sucks.
Yeah,
now it does. They lost everybody.
And he's
especially the big thing in the middle.
He's 25 years old and one of the best defensive tackles. Yes. And then finally, we have Cowboys QB Tony Romo pulling a Rex Ryan, and he promised and guaranteed that Dallas will win Super Bowl 50. Comments on that one?
Dumb.
Yes. Okay, as long as we're in agreement with that. Now, on to our first topic of the day.
Before you move on,
hold on a second.
When players and GMs do that, it's all hoopla, get the fans excited. For example, Rex Ryan.
Of
when
course,
he did it, didn't they go 8-8 or something?
They made the playoffs the first year.
Okay, then he did it again.
Yep.
The fact that they were almost going to lose draft picks over that is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's talking about the Revis tampering.
If they lost draft picks over that, I'm sorry, I would laugh.
I mean, the Falcons only lost like one
Their
6th round draft pick
Yeah.
for putting noise into the crowd.
Either way, then
for being a sad team, they lost a draft pick. Yeah,
then Rex did it again.
Yep.
And they went
mediocre.
Right.
Yep.
Now, Tony Romo, in this sense, the Cowboys should win the division.
Correct.
Maybe.
Yep. Okay. But,
can't fully guarantee it because the season hasn't happened yet. But as it stands now, they'll probably win the division. Okay.
Make the playoffs, probably win a game, the first round game. Then after that. So, in the sense, since they're coming off a good year, I can see it. One catch, they're in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's still 2 more games. Do you think they could have won?
In Seattle? I'm not. That's.
So where are you going with the argument?
Are you trying to say that?
Are you trying to say that it could happen that they could win the Super Bowl?
Well, anyone could say it. If we say could, then
obviously, but you got to have reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely there's definitely something of like the media getting behind all this, which definitely is a thing.
My thing was just be quiet, go about your business, and let the season talk for itself.
Yeah,
that's my thing.
So now we have our first big topic of the day, which is regular season schedules. And T-Man was pretty upset that we didn't get to do this last week because
I got my notebook.
He was trying to do all this while we were in class last Friday, and he was bummed that we didn't get to do it. But the first question, and we'll start off with Benelli and go around, kind of like usual. All right, who has the toughest schedule? Because the schedule came out a couple weeks ago now. They had this whole show for it and everything. Who has the toughest? Who is the one team that has the toughest schedule? Because we can talk about this in the sense of divisions and everything. But who has the toughest?
Well, stat-wise, the Steelers do. When they break it all down, their opponents' overall records over the last few years and win percentage, the Steelers do. The Bengals are second, and San Francisco's third. I'm not going to go with the Bengals, and I'm not going to go with the Steelers. I'm going to say San Francisco has the toughest schedule. Number one, because of the division they already play in. They already play in a division where everyone competes, and everyone competes every single week. So the fact that you have to play the Rams twice, who are, they've really turned their team around. Yeah, big time. I think they're the new San Francisco of that division. You got to play the Saints twice. I mean... I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Saints. You got to play Seattle twice. That speaks for itself. Seattle isn't a team. Yeah, Seattle's not a team that's gonna fall off in the next few years, even if they do make a lot of moves. They play Denver. They play Cincinnati in Cincinnati on Sunday Night Football. I mean, that's 8 games right there that potentially they could lose.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take away 8 games from a team that's rebuilding to try to win 8 games just to go 500, it's not going to happen. There's a chance that the Niners, with their schedule, could only win 4 games.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that. I mean, they do
play
have
Arizona
really
twice. Mm-hmm. You play the Seahawks twice. You play the Rams twice. You play the Bengals in Cincinnati on Monday Night Football.
That's an L.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot of games that.
Especially for a team that's had so many hits on defense, they're rebuilding. Right. They just have an inexperienced coach as well.
So you take away those games, if they can't pull those games out,
a lot is going to fall on Kaepernick's. A lot is going to fall on Cap's shoulders.
5 wins.
5.
You think it hit 5?
5. That is the 5.
I think
over. Definitely not. I'll take the under on it.
Yeah, I would take under on that too.
I don't think they get 5.
Who has the toughest schedule according to you, Tier Man?
The Packers. I think the Packers have a tough one. They're on the road to Arizona, Denver, and Oakland. Oakland is always one of those weird trap games.
Yeah.
For some reason, And then at home, they have the Seahawks and the Chargers.
Yep.
So I think that can cause some bumps in the road for Green Bay, but I think they win 10 games.
Yeah, I think they win 10 games
10
as well.
games.
But I do have to agree with Benelli. I had the Steelers down as the toughest schedule purely for the fact that the team is super depleted. There's such a lack of talent on both sides of the ball, minus like Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell and Big Ben, and Martavis Bryant.
And Heath Miller.
Yes. But if you look at their away game portion of their schedule, this team could win 0 away games. They have the Patriots week 1 without Le'Veon Bell, potentially without Antonio Brown. So that's their offense pretty much gone right there. They have the Rams, Seahawks, Bengals, Chiefs, and Ravens. And I know a couple of those are in-division games, but still, the only game that I could see them winning on the road is against the Browns. That's it. And I think that will be a super competitive game for like the worst of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see this team coming out with a 4-4 record on the road or anything like that. I think they go 1-7 on the road, which means they go maybe 5 wins at home or something like that. They're only going to get 6 or 7 wins this season anyway, and I'd be willing to take the under on that too.
Mike Tomlin though has a weird thing of just making it work though.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it's a great talent to have as a coach, but I mean, if you're looking at the paper right now, which we can't really assess, we can't really bring talent too much into this because teams haven't been finalized. Injuries haven't happened yet. We don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But just looking at on paper, like the Steelers and the Packers, like you're saying, will have tough schedules that'll be difficult for them to face. All right, going back to Benelli, who has the easiest schedule?
I thought we were doing 2 tough ones.
I mean, you can name a second tough one.
The Browns.
I mean, yeah, if it's the same division as like the Steelers, they're going to be facing a lot of the same opponents.
Denver, Arizona at home,
Yep.
Seattle away, the Jets away, the Chargers away.
Yeah.
Easiest, Patriots. I've been saying that since they came out.
Yeah. It's a pretty easy schedule.
When the toughest part of your schedule comes in conference, that's a cakewalk.
I mean, for a team that just won the Super Bowl, that's a really easy schedule.
Right. You would think that
they'd be facing
ball at them.
Like
that's such an easy schedule because their toughest games come in division.
I think the other toughest game would be Dallas.
Right, but how bad of a division was New England in last year?
Pretty bad.
Okay, now
if
that schedule was made prior to New York, Miami, and Buffalo making so many offseason moves, the Patriots would have a chance to go undefeated.
Yeah. If
that division was the talent level that it was last year, this year,
the Patriots would go at least 14-2.
You said the game to watch there is the Dallas game?
Dallas are the Giants.
I'd say Dallas more so than anything.
Dallas is one of those teams that they don't fit. They can't play against the New England. They don't fit that scheme to be able to play against the New England.
They're also one of those teams that
what
finds a way to be like...
What happens when Romo has to get into a shootout?
When he only has Dez Bryant, who could tear it up with that secondary. But even then...
I just don't have any faith in any team that plays New England at home.
It's a really tough thing.
At home, they'll go undefeated.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's 8.
Gillette's a tough place to play.
I said New England 11-13
wins.
And that's without even making moves.
Yeah.
Just because of their schedule. If they had a tough schedule,
and because of Brady,
if they had a schedule like Pittsburgh or Cincinnati, they could win as low as 7 games because they didn't really make any moves.
Right.
That's why I'm interested to see what they're going to do in the draft. But now that they have such an easy schedule, it's going to be really tough to say that they're not going to win at least 10 games.
Right.
With how easy that schedule is.
Yeah. All right. So, Chairman, who has your easiest schedule?
I put the Falcons.
Okay.
Home versus the Titans, and the Redskins, and the Eagles. Those home games, I think, the toughest one probably will be Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Then away you're at Jacksonville. You got... Oh, they're in the same division as Tennessee.
It doesn't matter, but you can name division games too.
And then away at the Giants. I see Atlanta winning 9 to 10 games this year,
even
with the new head coach and everything.
They could. It's just a matter of who wants to show up in that division. Because
10 wins wins that division.
Oh, definitely.
10, get the 10 wins, you win the division.
Because prior to last year, you would always consistently say Saints because they were the best the best team in that division outright to a certain extent. The Panthers seemed like they were on their way, but they had so many setbacks that it just kind of hurt the team. So I think the Panthers could make a contention for it, but they also have to prove that they can do better offensively, and it's not just Cam Newton. But yeah, any team could really win that division. The Buccaneers could all of a sudden come out of nowhere, go 8-8 and potentially win that division. Like what it was last year was all you needed, not even a winning record. You needed to win 7 games to win that division. It was a complete mess.
Yeah, they had a chance to get in the playoffs that last game of the year, and they got blown out.
Yeah. Yep. So the team that I think had the easiest schedule is Tier-Man's toughest team. I think the Packers have an easy schedule purely because their away schedule is super easy. They have their division
to play at home.
Their division is such a mess. If you look at the Bears, Lions, and Vikings, those teams are all having their own issues.
Yeah.
The Bears need to fix their offense. They have a new head coach. Their defense is not even close to what it used to be. The Vikings are having all this trouble with Adrian Peterson. They're still a young team, and they're still trying to find who they are as a team. They also don't really have too many weapons outside of like Cordell Patterson to really work with because Adrian Peterson was their offense for a long time.
Serious, right? Killing it.
Yeah, and then if you look at the Lions, their offensive line is consistently bad. They're recovering from Sue and Fairley.
Yeah.
They need to keep Megatron healthy, which he hasn't really been too healthy in like the past 2 years. Golden Tate has been really solid for them, but who else has been solid for them like that? I mean, they have.
What about the away games though? You don't see any trip ups?
Well, I mean, some of the teams that they face in their away games, besides the ones in division, are the Niners, Panthers, Raiders, and Broncos. And the Raiders are probably like that team that's going to trip them up because the black hole is always a really tough place to play. But I still think that if this is again all on paper and everything, but if you're matching up talent on talent, the Packers offense can just score points. Their defense doesn't really have to do much. It's kind of like the 2011 Patriots, where the defense doesn't do anything pretty much. The defense lets up 28 points a game, but you only have to score 30, 35 a game. Rodgers, Nelson, Cobb, all these guys can do that.
Adams.
Yeah, like they have no problem offensively talent-wise. So I think that in my case, they easily they're going to go 8-0 against their division, I think. Okay. Away, home, it doesn't matter. They're going to wipe out their division. That's automatically 8 wins there. They get, the Broncos, who are still recovering. I don't think the Broncos can do that solid this year.
See,
but the Niners are definitely a guaranteed win as well. The Panthers, depending on how they play, could either show up or just not show up at all. So it's really just about how the teams are heading into each game. But I think the Packers at least get 10 wins, like you were saying. Not that it would make their part of their schedule any tougher, but I think they have definitely an easier schedule than most teams for being at least an NFC Championship Conference-esque team every year.
I put Denver as an easy schedule too. Away at Chicago, they're a mess.
Yep.
Away to Cleveland, they're a mess.
Yep.
The Lions defense, that's Vikings away, like you said, and then the Steelers also. I see Denver winning 12 games.
Really? Even with Peyton Manning coming back with his bum shoulder?
They played so bad last year.
But even though they started to change their offense, they started running the ball more so Peyton doesn't have to gunsling it he doesn't have to throw it 50 times a game anymore.
Right, but don't you think at that point guys can, teams can start packing the box a little bit more? Yeah, but
figure out their backfield.
But they don't have.
They had 4 running backs go down before Anderson came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah,
so you don't know if just because Anderson played good that it's automatically his job now. So
Right. And they did lose Julius Thomas. They did gain Owen Daniels, though. But he's seen better days.
Daniels isn't better than
injury-wise.
Thomas.
No, he's not.
And they're
but,
both injury prone.
Right.
I'd rather have
But
Thomas.
Daniels did was a bit of a factor for the Ravens last year. It's kind of like a fourth option on passing plays.
Blanket.
Right. Kind of under the middle type deal. But they don't really have a solid tight end because Daniels could get hurt, and then
Right.
you have Virgil Green after that. Wes Welker has a giant helmet because he's always getting rocked.
Right.
You have Emmanuel Sanders. He took a couple big hits last year. That's going to get to him eventually. Then you're still working out Demaryius Thomas. I mean, that team could face
The
some
defense
big
has a lot of
issues.
question marks.
Yeah.
Manning went in a huge slump after that game against St. Louis.
So,
They did absolutely nothing towards the end of the year last year.
but they could
12
have an
games
easy
is
schedule.
bold.
Yeah, they could have an easy schedule.
It's not
and I'm not
easy.
disagreeing with you.
They play the Chargers twice.
Yep.
Who might have? I think the Chargers are a sleeper team this year. They're gonna have a really good year.
And we'll talk about division winners in a second, but
The Chiefs only got better
yeah,
by far. 12 games. That's a lot for that team. That's a lot.
I definitely I would put their over under at 9.
Yep. I'd say over. I'd take the over on 9, but 12 is a lot.
Yeah.
You have to understand, in the NFL,
Which ESPN's probably having a heart attack if they have anyone listening to this because they're going to say the Broncos are winning, 14 games or something like
in
that.
the NFL, a win is huge.
Yeah.
Why do you think you only play 16 games in the NFL?
Since every game matters.
Every game matters, number one. It takes such a toll on the players' bodies
Mm-hmm.
that if you were to have a longer season, 12 games with Peyton back there, with that bum, everything, neck, shoulder, leg, I don't know. That's really bold. Because Thomas was his go-to
Yeah.
when he would be in trouble,
Mm-hmm.
or he would dump it off to Anderson.
Yep.
Like I said, you don't even know who that running back's going to be. Is it Ball? Is it Thompson?
It
Is
should
Anderson?
be Anderson.
It should be Anderson, but you don't know. 12 is bold.
Because I thought
There's a lot of holes in the
we
defense.
started seeing a new offense, and I don't see why they can't go start using.
But it did
that.
nothing
You're-
for them. They
but-
didn't get anywhere.
You're right that they could implement this new offensive style system, but they have a new coach, a new
And no offense, you're right. But the only reason
Hey.
why it was a new offense
Was
is because he had half of his
Yeah.
people to
He
throw
was
to injured.
Yeah.
So it would just be a dump pass over the middle for 5 yards to Anderson and then let him dance around to try to get yards. And then when Anderson had 2 breakout games, they're like, we can give him the ball 25 times a game. Let him run the ball. Rest Peyton. Why make Peyton try to force
Right,
throws
right,
with no
yeah.
receivers?
when he had
12 games
and
is a
try
lot.
50
Definitely
throws
taking
attempts.
the over on 9. 12 is way too much for me, I believe.
I think 10 is their sweet spot, but we'll see how that goes. Depends on how everything plays out. Peyton can't take too much of a beating
You'd
for
be
too much
surprised
longer.
if they
I'm
get
just
10
actually
they still don't make the playoffs.
I was really surprised Peyton came back for this year. That
I
was
think
my
in
thing.
past years the NFC has dominated. This year, to me,
I think-
clear-cut AFC's way better.
I actually I've had a bit of a reverse. I think that the AFC consistency hasn't been as consistent. Like you always have like the Seahawks and the Packers
Right.
for a while, the Niners at the top of the NFC, but now we're starting to see those teams kind of shift around. The
I
Packers
think the
are getting
AFC
older.
by far is
Is better.
deadly.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
the AFC is better.
Deadly. If you break down every division, there's only one seller team like per division, and sometimes not even.
Yeah,
Like take
the
AFC South.
I was gonna say the AFC East.
Take
There's
the
no
AFC
bottom
South.
team there.
Texans had a chance week 17 to make the playoffs
Yep.
last year. They've only gotten better.
Yep.
Colts, obviously we know what they can do.
Yep.
Jacksonville's gotten 100% better. Tennessee went out and redid their entire defense, and they got the number 2 draft pick in the draft this year.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at AFC East. Every team in the AFC East except for New England, granted they just won the Super Bowl,
Right.
so
Got better.
fine. Every other team got better.
Yeah. Yep.
AFC North, every team competes every year to begin with.
Minus the Browns generally.
Right.
But
AFC
they did
West,
last year.
every team got better, even Oakland. And
Minus
Oakland
the,
and
the
Oakland
Broncos
showed,
didn't get better, but
but they have
they're still really
they're still
good.
a good team.
Yeah.
Like I said, 10 wins in a
Yeah.
division, that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And you have Oakland who showed some signs of promise last year.
Yeah.
And they've gotten better.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the last
AFC clear cut.
I think this is the last year that we see the majority of like the top 5 picks in the draft be AFC teams. I think the next couple of years is going to be the NFC.
Yeah.
And the Niners are probably going to be one of those teams. All right, so the last part of this topic is division winners. Now, I just put out like 1 or 2 teams for a division because you can't guess. All we're doing for this pretty much this entire show is being analysts and experts, is just kind of who we think could win these divisions. For the AFC, I have the Patriots, but I have the note, this is their last year winning the division for a while, if they don't get any better. Because I think that they can still pull out a division win, and they can grab the AFC East division, but after that, I think it's one of the, like a Buffalo that will come in if they can find a quarterback and take over, because the Patriots have a lot of holes that they need to plug, and this is hard for me to say, but like Buffalo, who hasn't made the playoffs in like 19 years, can now finally start to kind of be like
retiring hurt them.
Yeah, but like they're like a snake in waiting right now, because
that's true.
They just need a quarterback and then they can pounce to the top.
I'll agree. I'll take New England in the AFC East again.
Yeah.
Tierman, you good with that one?
I think the next best is Buffalo, though. I agree.
Yeah,
I think Miami is the bottom in that. Yep. Jets made too many moves. Jets secondary is a Pro Bowl secondary now.
And I agree with you, because the Jets did make moves.
How many games can the Jets win holding teams, though?
But like the whole thing is
17 points, though. The whole offense has to put up points, too.
Yeah. I think
me and you could go out there and throw to that receiving core that they put together now.
Now we can throw and run behind Dallas's offensive line. Cool.
Yeah. So, I just think that Miami and the Jets will be competing for like that 3rd spot, but I definitely think that
I don't think Miami. I can't stand Tannehill. I don't think he's good. We go over this all the time.
Yeah.
He's so average, though.
Yeah.
Like, he's so average. I've never watched a game where that guy's, like, blown me away. And the games where he does have, like, 330 passing yards, he'll have, like, 4 picks.
Yeah. And it's actually funny because him and Alex Smith are what Ryan, the station manager, calls, like, the most vanilla quarterbacks ever, for the fact that they're so average and so bland.
I would take Smith any day over
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But, like, if you look at them for their teams, they're so average because...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're not like the big contributors to that team. AFC North. And I have the Bengals, of course.
Obviously, that's what I'm taking.
But I also have the Ravens because they always find their way into contention for the AFC North title. I'm not saying that they should. I'm just saying they always find their way into being
last year, they weren't
contention.
even in consideration to make the playoffs, so they had that late push.
Yeah.
Now
they lost Torrey Smith, and that's a huge loss.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Now they're to the point where can they run the ball and put this on four set?
Yeah,
got to be the Bengals. Pittsburgh has the toughest schedule.
Browns have too many problems.
Browns have way too many problems. I'm gonna go Cincinnati. Really, not even being biased.
Yeah, Tierman, you agree? Good.
I have to.
Good man.
Bengals. Good.
Because you gotta think. Pittsburgh, they're confused on they're
on both sides of the ball, really.
Both sides,
and then the Browns, they don't even have a quarterback or anyone.
Yeah,
their anchor retired on defense. So.
Yeah, Palomalu's gone. Ike Taylor's gone. That's your veteran leadership in that secondary.
Good old James Harrison, who's about 40, still playing.
He's still a leader.
He can bench all 3 of us.
Yeah.
At the same time. That dude is absolute monster physically. However, yeah, he's 40 years old, so how much is he going to be able to take 16 games? AFC South. I have the Colts winning this.
I don't see anyone else competing with them.
I mean, I do think that there's a case that Jacksonville has definitely improved on paper. Same with Tennessee.
Texans didn't really improve, and they don't have a quarterback. So I honestly think that they could potentially be the bottom of that division.
And
I'm going with the Colts, too. I didn't want to make that.
J.J. Watt will give the Texans at least 4 wins by himself. But they have no secondary. They're thinking about trading. What was the text you just sent us?
DJ Swearinger.
Yeah, they were trying to take away one of their better pieces in that secondary.
But
so I think that the Texans will only be hurt by that.
I think the Colts win by default.
Yeah, it's kind of like Cincinnati. They win by default because The other teams are not quite there
Honestly,
yet.
I would not sleep on Tennessee or Jacksonville. If Tennessee does the right thing with that number 2 pick, Tennessee could have a pretty good year.
And we'll get to that in a second.
They made a lot of moves. They did a lot of moves on that defense.
One of the big things was getting Cersei.
That was big.
That was a big thing for them. So, AFC West. And this is good because I don't have the Broncos winning. I have 2 teams that could be in contention, kind of like Bengals, Ravens. I have Chiefs or Chargers.
Obviously, yeah. I have the Chargers winning.
Yeah.
If those rumors aren't true that Phillip Rivers might be traded. There's too many rumors going around about Phillip Rivers being traded.
That's why I have the Chiefs in there as well, because if they trade Rivers, I'm not sure who they can replace him and make a foundation good enough for them to win.
I like the Chargers this year.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers have just been always in contention.
They're always knocking at the door, but this year they're going to kick it down.
Exactly. Kind of like the Miami effect. Is this the year they get over the hump?
The hump. They kick the door in. They've always knocked at it. Yeah.
My only thing is that they don't have a starting running back anymore. I mean, they have Danny Woodhead, but he's a great third down back. They have
Brandon Oliver.
Brandon Oliver, they
like him.
They like him, but he's not like he could be used in like a 3-man rotation.
Bobby Rainey out of Tampa Bay.
He's a good 3-man rotation kind of back because he can go in there for a couple plays.
Stan Woodhead, he's not the answer there.
I'm not saying he's the answer. I'm saying he's a good third down back. He's like the Kevin Falk of the Chargers.
True.
Good third down back. Don't make him your every down back type guy. But yeah, I just think that they need a starting running back, and I think they're one of the teams that could draft a running back. Not necessarily in the first round, but they could draft a running back and kind of work that into the system as well. But that's their only problem on offense that I have, really. And, I mean, their defense is pretty solid, too, so we'll see how they go from there. And now we move to the NFC. The NFC East, I think we're all in agreement that the Cowboys could win the division as it stands right now.
They should.
Yeah. I mean,
I also wouldn't sleep on Washington. Like I said, the best medicine for RG3 was to know that he is the outright starter months and months and months in advance of the season. That way he has time to work, perfect his craft. I think that they're gonna draft a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think that's going to help them. Mm-hmm. Their defense got a lot better. Their secondary got a lot better.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be better than teams think. I think that whole division made some moves in the offseason, so
I can't sleep on the Giants. It's something
I don't know where that keeps coming from. Where do you keep
because it's always
that?
Because your dad's a fan.
That and every other year, for some reason, the Giants are always in.
But they struggle. They struggle so bad. I don't see how they could. I don't know.
And it's Eli. It's Coughlin's. I think this is Coughlin's do it or he
signed a 1-year extension, so we'll see how that works out.
Right, and then after this year, they're gonna have to go in rebuilding mode. Yeah. Because Eli's not young, Coughlin's not young, so
Coughlin could be done. He's had a long career.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I do think the Cowboys win.
All right, now we go to the NFC North. I mean, this is kind of simple for me. The Packers in agreement.
Yes.
Could anyone else compete with them in that division? Yet? No. Who?
Detroit.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
With all those holes on defense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're not going to win, but they're going to compete with them.
I mean, I think Detroit will grab second with 9 wins. I mean,
so how many are you giving the Packers?
At least 10. At least 10.
Their defense has holes now.
But look at I compared them earlier to the 2011 Patriots. They won every game
because their
offense was awesome.
Their offense is really good. Their receivers are really good. Their
Same
line
thing
is
with the
really
Packers.
Good. Their running backs are good.
Same thing with the Packers. Elite quarterback, good running backs, good wide receivers.
Great wide receivers.
A solid tight end in Corliss.
Good
offensive line. That team can win 11.
The defense to stop. Hold them the 28 points because Rodgers is putting up 30.
Their secondary is not too terrible. There's some guys
they lost key pieces in that.
No, and I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying they have some young guys that are still there, like Micah Hyde and stuff like that. That will improve. That don't make that defense completely terrible.
I still think that. But I think that they're going to win. But I think that
it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think that Detroit's going to give them a run.
Okay.
I really do. You can't sleep on Detroit. Look what they did last year.
I'm not saying that
even losing Fairley and Suba.
That was my thing.
100%, yeah.
Those were the big pieces to the defense that are now gone.
Nada,
He's seen better days.
But does he replace the product?
No, not even close.
Well, I'll explain come Jeff.
All right. Now we move to the NFC South, which is pretty much anyone's division. But I have the Panthers winning the division again.
I just can't bet against Drew Brees. Yeah.
I have the Saints. I would put the Saints in like second, Bucks in third, Falcons in last.
I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Wasn't too surprised there. They have a really good team, so I wouldn't be surprised.
On paper, they have a really good team.
If
they get a running back, if they get a running back,
they're kind of like the Jets of the NFC South for me because they can be good. They just need a quarterback.
Yeah. We'll see.
J-Man, you agree with that?
What?
Do you agree with that?
No,
I know you picked the Saints, but do you agree with what Millie's saying that that Tampa only needs really a quarterback to be good? Yeah.
Now what? What quarterback?
That's the question. We'll get to that in just a couple minutes. The NFC West is the last division we have to do. I have the Seahawks winning this by default. However, I have St. Louis in a very close second. Very close second. If they add a wide receiver, that team has one of the best defensive front lines I've ever seen.
Rams are cool.
Yeah.
They're cool. They're a fun, goofy team to watch.
I would watch all of their games just to see their defense play. That will be incredible to see because that team on paper is stacked.
Foles, and
they got Fairley for cheap. They have one of the best defensive lines. They still have really good linebackers. That secondary is some of the most hard-hitting, smash-mouth playing secondary crew in the league. I mean, it's going to be really good. I just think that they need another wide receiving option besides Tavon Austin. Leave him on special teams.
I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah.
But I think the Rams are in second.
Yes.
Good job. We're all in agreement with that. And now we get to
Rams.
Yeah. Instead of the Bears. Now we get to the topic that's going to take up an hour probably, the mock draft. So
are we breaking first or no?
No.
Okay, sweet.
No. So we've all compiled who we think are going to go where in the first round because, as you all should know, the NFL first round draft on Thursday night. So we're going to go around and list who goes where and at what pick. So here, without further ado, is the official 2015 NFL Korner expert mock draft.
Yay.
And it'll be the only mock draft done for the NFL Korner. So it's the one and only mock draft. All right, number one pick. Tier Man, you start us off. Yeah.
I picked Jameis. All signs.
No peeking.
No peeking. All signs towards Tampa Bay selecting him. The GMs has come out, said they're 100% in for whatever decision they go with. The owner too. Jameis just. I think that by default they're just going to get him, and they need a quarterback. Mike Glennon's not the answer.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know because he hasn't really.
They haven't tested him.
They never tested him. Besides that one game when he went up to Seattle and they lost by a point. Other than that.
Yeah, I mean, I also have Jameis going in the first round to the Bucks, and it's not because I'm an FSU fan, because I love FSU football, but
it just makes sense.
But there's been just too much talk surrounding the team for them not to pick him. I think that if they don't pick Winston, which will be a surprise to everyone, they'll probably pick Mariota. And I'm not saying that those are the best moves for them, because I think Winston is probably going to be a troublemaker off the field. He's going to be a bit of an issue in the locker room. But on the field, I have no doubt in Jameis Winston's ability he pretty much led Florida to a championship.
We've said that.
He's a very talented player.
There's no questions about him on the field.
Yeah.
It's if he can figure out his life off the field.
Right. And when even people inside your camp are saying, maybe Jameis, I'm going to come out and say that Jameis Winston is not ready for the NFL on or off the field. That's really saying something when it's not just media stories at that point. It's someone from inside your own camp, just calling you out hard like that. I think it's...
I've said it multiple times. I mean, if you're Tampa Bay, you kind of like the thing with the Clowney. If you don't pick Jameis, you better have a good reason why you didn't pick him.
Yeah, and
now chances. What are there's slim to none chances of Tampa Bay not picking him.
Yeah.
If they don't pick him, where do they go?
I think they have to pick him.
They have to take a quarterback.
Unless they say that Glennon is their answer.
Right.
And then trade the pick because there's nothing in the draft that is
absolutely
valuable enough that they would need to draft.
So would they trade for a veteran quarterback for the number one overall pick?
Well,
or something
maybe,
like that?
maybe. If you say that Glennon's your guy, this is just speculation.
Yeah,
this probably won't happen. But that would be the only thing. Like I said, this is a very weak draft.
Yeah.
Very, very, very weak.
Yeah, you said that last week and the week before that too.
Because there's Winston and Mariota up there, but you take those two guys away, it's very weak.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think that those two guys are elite.
Yeah.
Do you think that, bold prediction, do you think that Jameis Winston will have a better rookie year than Derek Carr? Derek Carr or Blake
He'll have a better one than David Carr. But,
not Derek Carr. With the receivers that Derek Carr had to put up that many passing yards?
Yeah.
But you give Jameis and Mike Evans.
Evans and Vincent Jackson.
But that's the point, though, that Derek Carr had nobody to throw to.
I think wherever...
Do you think Tampa Bay goes San Diego first round, our number one for Phillip Rivers?
I would love that, but it would never happen.
No. That's too risky for an organization like San Diego, but I definitely think that they could, especially if they're considering moving to LA. That's actually a pretty good tier, man.
That is good. I'd love if they did that.
All right, Benelli, number one overall pick. Who's it going to?
Winston.
Yeah, okay. Before the show, he had made it up like he was going to have some big, bold move at number one, lying to all of us. Number two, I have the Titans going with not Marcus Mariota. I have them taking Dante Fowler, second overall. I think if they fix that defense, if they can get that going, I mean that team will be solid on defense. Then they can just build around with the offense because the only other thing that I think that they could do if they're not going to go with Mariota is get a wide receiver. But even then, that's kind of risky to take one of those guys that early. So they could trade down potentially. I don't know. There's so many options. There's so much speculation that could be had. But I think that they can get maybe like a decent wide receiver, like the second or third rounds. Kind of bolster that offense from there. But I think that they go defense heavy first. That'll help that team in the future.
I picked Leonard Williams out of USC.
Listen to all the mock drafts.
Yep.
All right.
Every mock draft has him before Fowler. I picked Fowler.
You did pick Fowler.
I got Fowler going second.
Nice.
Want to know why? How many moves did Tennessee make in the offseason? Give or take 5?
Yeah.
And how many of them were on defense?
All of them. Yeah.
You add another stud, that defense is going to be very good. And Fowler had better pro days than Williams. So.
Yeah. So you had Williams, but at least we're in agreement that they're going to go on defense first, which makes sense.
An end/linebacker, which is funny. It's just funny because these guys that played end/linebacker in college won't do that in the NFL.
They'll play one or the other.
You're not heavy enough or strong enough to play defensive end, or you're not quick enough to play linebacker.
Right.
So one of the two things comes into play, and then that's what determines where you go.
Scheme.
Right.
And you're not going to have like guys like. Like the Patriots, for example, where you have like a guy like Rob Ninkovich who plays defensive end and outside linebacker.
Right. I mean,
really, depending on the package,
very rare
you're not gonna have guys that come out and do that really in the NFL. Like even like Shane Ray, he's not gonna be playing outside linebacker. He's probably gonna go down on the line and play D end. Who do you have for third overall?
This is where I had a little fun because this could happen. I'm trading the pick. I'm trading Jacksonville's pick
Yeah.
to Cleveland
Okay.
for both of their first-round picks.
Oh.
Jacksonville gets rid of pick number 3. They get Cleveland's 12 and 19.
All right. So who do you have the Browns now taking
I have
at?
the Browns taking Mariota. The reason
Okay.
I have the Browns taking Mariota is because Mariota is the complete opposite.
Of Manziel.
The complete opposite. And I think, regardless if this doesn't happen, which this potentially could, I think this might actually happen.
That's a good trade.
But I don't know about the Mariota thing.
Yeah.
I think that they might move up. Cleveland might move up and might try to get a receiver like Kevin White or Cooper or something. But if this does happen, if it doesn't happen, I wouldn't be surprised if Manziel is no longer a Brown after this year. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
He signed a rookie contract. They never gave him another deal.
Yep.
So he has the typical rookie contract.
Which
and he's
lasts 3 years.
Right, and he's been nothing but a headache.
Yeah.
They'd probably rather pay him the last year of his rookie contract
And then go
in a different direction. Because, look, they already have all the issues and backlash from Josh Gordon. I don't think that they want to keep, going down this path.
Yeah.
And Manziel's been nothing but headaches. You bring in a guy like Mariota who's a proven winner,
Yep.
who's a leader, who's smart and has no issues on and off the field and doesn't live life in the limelight. Key example, he's staying in Hawaii for the draft. Hey, I think that'd be pretty awesome. Cleveland moves up to 3, takes Mariota with 3, and then you give Jacksonville 12 and 19 because Jacksonville's not going to take a quarterback at 3.
No.
So that's what I had.
But do you think a team that drafts like Cleveland, like that is an organization that just they need to fix.
They need to learn how to draft.
Their war room needs to go to like kindergarten for the NFL because that team drafts horribly.
Awful.
If you're taking Johnny Manziel 22 overall, you guys need help.
Right.
Seriously. But that's a good move. That won't happen for them. I can almost guarantee with how they draft that probably won't happen. Good dream move for them.
I just don't see.
It's a great mock draft move.
I just don't see how if Jacksonville offers that to Cleveland, which is a rumor that's going around.
Yeah.
The Mariota thing's my speculation.
Yeah.
That rumor is going around through valuable sources.
That could happen, yeah.
I just don't see how Cleveland can turn that down.
NFL,
how can Cleveland turn down moving to 3?
No,
that's
you
tough.
Can't. Yeah. NFL Korner valuable sources.
That's right.
That's right. Tierman, who do you have going at 3?
Offensive guard Brandon Scheffner out of Iowa.
Okay.
Brandon
Scherf.
Yeah.
Scherf.
I
think offensive line build Young.
Yeah.
Bortles.
Yeah.
Why not? He's projected high, but I think that makes sense.
I'm gonna surprise everyone. I actually agree with you, Tierman. I have Scherf going 3rd overall to Jacksonville. Well, just because if they bolster that line, because, I mean, there's not much else that they could really work on. They're not going to grab, like, Mariota or anything. So, I mean, they drafted wide receiver after wide receiver after wide receiver.
That's what I said when he said that they were going to get a receiver. That's what I told him.
What?
A couple weeks ago, he said, why doesn't Jacksonville take Cooper?
Yeah.
And I said, how many years can they keep going with a receiver bust?
Yeah.
So you're off that train.
Good.
It makes sense. This makes more sense looking at everything.
Fair enough.
All right.
I just also think there's probably better.
The Vikings.
I think there's better linemen.
Not interested in trading Peterson.
Yeah.
I think there's better linemen before Scherf, though.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think there's better linemen in this draft before Scherf. For him to go the first lineman, I think
I think they go offensive line. Who that?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys are interchangeable.
And how much this guy benched and what this guy ran for a 40, and that Scherf hurt his prospect.
He did, but I still think it wasn't enough. I mean, really, all the linemen are interchangeable. It's whoever goes first, and then all the dominoes kind of fall from there.
Yes and no.
But 4th overall for the Raiders, I don't have them trading the pick. That wouldn't make really too much sense for them unless they got a good deal out of it. I have them drafting Kevin White.
Same.
And the only reason I have them drafting White over Cooper, even though Cooper's proven, White's a possession receiver. And if you look at
that's key.
But if you look at,
and he's bigger.
Yeah. If you look at how.
You're also finally believing me with actually how tall Cooper is.
Look at your teammate coming around.
Look at him.
Growing up, making your own opinions. But White is bigger than.
NFL. It's the new NFL.
Yeah, White is taller than any other receiver on that team by at least 2 inches. Every other receiver on that team, Jones, Streeter, they're all 6 foot 6'1", not possession receivers.
Right.
If you get a young possession receiver, how good would Derek Carr be this year with a Kevin White
That's true.
in the system?
That's true.
How easy would it be for you to have a quick, fast possession receiver that has incredible athletic ability to just run down the field when you want to have more of a no-huddle offense? It would work.
That's true.
So do you think in the NFL soon there's not going to be any need for Julian Edelman?
Yeah, there always will be.
No, there's always going to be.
You got to change it up. If I throw on you deep 5 plays in a row and then I have a 5-yard dump off to my slot guy,
that's going to be like a 20-yard play because they're already playing zone.
There always will be a spot.
If
I'm on a draft board and I got a 6'4" possession guy who I lob it up to and gets anything,
I'm
a
gonna
jump ball guy,
go with
or
like
I got a little tiny Cole
right.
Beasley slot guy. Who do you think I'm taking?
You're going to take Madden.
Yeah, but like the whole thing
life.
is just like the Patriots kind of helped prove this because
I know.
a lot of teams had.
I just wanted to
really
throw that out there.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. It's a good issue to talk about because teams like the Patriots, who always have like the small guys, really need a big possession receiver. They really need it. However, if you only have big possession receivers, you get those guys double or triple covered.
Right.
You can't, you have no one else to dump it off to really. It's kind of tough that way, but a nice balance always works. It's very Madden-esque, but at the same time, it works well because that's what you want from a team. You want the quick, fast guy that can go underneath that you can just throw it across the middle for an 8-yard gain. But you also want the guy who goes 15 yards and you just toss it up and he's going to get it type deal. So
I didn't take him.
It's a nice balance.
I took Leonard Williams.
Okay, that defense could be really good.
Right, the defense could be really good. The secondary is good.
Yep.
I think bringing a guy who's proven,
Yeah.
who was potentially a number 1 draft pick he was potentially the number 1.
He was projected at 1 for a while.
For a little while.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they had
It doesn't
Jameis
hurt
moving
them.
around.
It's not a bad pick.
Him and Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That defense is C.O. Moore, Khalil Mack, throw him up there, then you got a good secondary.
You still have Justin Tuck and everything on the line.
Still have Tuck on the line, Tyvon Branch in the secondary.
Yeah. Charles Woodson.
Yeah. I think keep rebuilding that defense. I think Carr, he made it work 1 year without any studs on offense. So that's a guy who's not a question mark. I feel like a Leonard Williams is a guy who can come in and make immediate impact. He doesn't have a question mark next to him as whether he'll be good, if he'll fit. So that's why I took him at 4.
Yeah, good athlete. Yeah, it makes sense. All right, so pick number 5. Who do you have?
I have Kevin White going there because Washington needs a receiver. You have to give RG3 someone to throw to.
Yeah.
That's not Garcon, who's
Or
inconsistent.
Deshaun Jackson.
Or Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
I think Kevin White fits there so good it's not even funny.
Yeah.
If I think about it, it just makes sense. It really does.
T-Man, who do you have?
This is where I have them getting Fowler. I have them going defense.
Yeah, and we were talking about this last week. I can see that. That's a good move for them.
I can see that too.
Because
I also can't see him dropping that far. It actually would be a drop for him.
That would be a good pick if he falls that far because then they would have Fowler, Kerrigan on the outside. Then you have Knighton and Stephen Paillet in the middle. That's a good front.
That's why I'm saying those teams.
So with Jackson, if he doesn't fall that
Jacksonville
far,
could take him.
Jacksonville
doesn't trade him.
I mean, I think all of the
Oakland could take him.
I think out of the top 5 teams,
anybody
but the Bucs could take him.
Anybody could take him.
Exactly.
I just don't see how you could not take a receiver if you're Washington.
Yeah.
They made a ton of moves in the offseason on defense.
Mm-hmm.
If their argument is, look, we make one more big move, which again, Fowler is a guy that would come in and not be a question mark, would probably immediately help out on the field. So that's not a negative to take him. But I just don't see when you made the defense better and the offense hasn't gotten better, but now RG3 knows, look, you're the starter. Like I said, he has time to prep. Give him a weapon. I don't see how they can't go receiver. And you have to assume, I would be very surprised if Cooper or White were not available come their pick at 5. I'd be very surprised.
K-Man, who do you have?
Who?
At 5.
He said Fowler.
Yeah,
Oh, you have Fowler too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He has
sorry.
Fowler.
I
have one.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
White,
yeah.
Fowler.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the first pick. I think none of us will agree on it. I have them picking up Trey Waynes at corner, just because a lot of their secondary guys are older and they improved up front. I think if they can add one more piece, I mean it's
Their
just the opposite
secondary's
side of the
young
ball.
if you take away Hall. Their secondary is young, though. E.J. Biggers, Rashad Breeland. I don't see them making that move.
I mean it's just it's all speculation at this point, but they could get Waynes to try and be there.
That's a jump. I mean, I have him on mine going sooner than most analysts have, and I still have him going
Waynes?
high. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have him 11.
I have him. I'm not going to say where I have him.
I have him going to Minnesota.
I mean that works too, but I mean, I was just thinking that if they're gonna complete this defensive change that they've
So
been
you
making,
guys both say defense, and I say you have to get a receiver.
I definitely agree with you, and I'm a little bit swayed by your offensive argument because they definitely do need it, and
Need it.
and RG3 does need the weapons.
I just don't think you.
I just think that if
You don't think that what?
I just don't think you can go wrong with either.
No.
yeah, definitely, but I think that
I think taking Wayne's would be.
it would complete that defensive change, and you've already locked down.
Wayne's over.
I think if
White?
Fowler's there
You take
and White's there,
You're going White.
if Fowler's available, White's available, and they take Wayne's, I would boo.
yeah.
Oh, I don't.
If you have the option
Yeah.
to take
Right,
White,
yes.
Fowler, and then you take Wayne's,
I-
let's just say what he says actually happens. That wouldn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, I would take Fowler over
But
Waynes.
seeing as he has White gone
and
he has Fowler gone in his draft, then
It
fine,
makes-
it makes a little bit
yeah.
more sense.
Yeah.
But if those two guys are available
Right.
and they actually draft Wayne's, that's worthy of a boo.
Yeah, I mean, just for the fact that you already have RG3 locked down for 2016,
Right.
so
And he
what-
knows he's getting paid and he knows that he's playing.
Yeah.
So
hold off. I think they can hold off offensive first round until next year. I'm just saying that, but
but if they want to win now,
pick offense.
they have to get
But
offense.
who knows if White's still going to be there? Who knows if?
Their defense this
Fowler's
past year
not
wasn't
going to be
even
there.
that bad.
Yeah.
It was their offense.
Yeah,
So
but if you have a lockdown defense, that could turn the tide for them. All right, at 6, who do you have, T-Man? We'll start off with you.
Andrus Pet. He.
The offensive tackle out
Andreas
of
Pete out of Stanford.
Yeah.
yeah.
Left tackle.
I went.
He's a big softy though.
He's like a Jonathan Martin, but he's good.
Yeah.
I think you.
Actually, they can. Was it?
I just don't think you. I could have put Mariota there, but that doesn't make sense because. I mean, it could make sense because of Geno, but what's the thing? If they do get Mariota, then what are they going to do with Geno? No one's going to
Let me
want
ask
him.
you something. If you pick a left tackle for a Jets offensive line, that their offensive line is not that good.
Mhm.
I'm agreeing with you. That would be a fine pick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play devil's advocate.
Okay.
You take that pick
Yep.
to what? Better your run game or hope that Geno Smith has more time to throw? We're not talking about a pretty good quarterback here. We're talking about a guy who's a proven bum.
Yeah.
So are you, in essence, wasting a pick on trying to better a quarterback who I think you could give him the Great Wall of China and he still probably won't perform?
Actually,
So is that a waste of a pick? A great idea if you had a pretty decent quarterback, but I think that Geno Smith is actually that bad that they actually could be wasting that pick, and that's why I have Cooper.
however,
The more targets
I mean,
you
I
give
definitely
him,
agree.
I think Geno Smith. Here's my argument. Geno Smith, he's awful.
Yes.
One thing he can do decently is move.
Mm-hmm.
To where if his backside's not protected, yeah, he's going to get sacked a few times, but he can move.
Yeah.
Now, if he can move and he's got two guys down the field, fine. But if he can move and he's got 4 options, he's going to have Decker, he's going to have Marshall, he's going to have Jace Amaro, and you give him Cooper,
That's good.
I would rather take that than try to give him more time on the line when he's a scrambler to begin with. Do you see where I'm coming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to me, that's a good pick, and I will never say it's a bad pick for an offensive lineman to go to any team.
Yeah.
But I just think that if that's what I'm speaking on behalf if these were actually to happen. I'm not saying anything about what you picked. If the Jets were actually to take a lineman, it wouldn't make sense to the fact that Geno Smith moves around. Give him another target. If Cooper's there, I don't see how you can pass him.
If Cooper's there, don't pass on Cooper if you're the Jets. However, I will agree with Tierman, and I have a bit of a different reason because, yes, you draft offensive line. That's never a bad pick. But you give Pete time to settle into the offense, get adjusted to the line. Next year, you could. If there's
old too,
okay,
right?
but how about this?
Ferguson's old. He's not going to be sticking around too much
Ferguson's
long.
old.
If they draft
Mangold is old.
Yeah, if you draft, I'll say you don't even draft Pete. If you draft like a Cameron Irving or someone, but if they could take a quarterback in like the second round.
How much money did they give David Harris in that new contract? 30 mil?
24 million, something like that.
He's an old, slow linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Their linebacking core is bad.
Yeah.
If like a Vic Beasley is available, if you don't want to take Cooper, and if like a Vic Beasley is available, I think they got to go linebacker too. Their linebacking core is kind of weak.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm going to go receiver or linebacker before I'm going to go lineman if I'm the Jets. That's all I'm saying. That's why I picked Cooper.
I have them getting Mariota just because with the way the market is, it's hard for them to kind of stick with Geno year after year and say, he's our guy, he's our guy. I mean, they cycled out QBs like,
but see,
chump
now
over there.
That made sense to me at first. Mariota was a fit there, but now I've heard so much speculation that he's going to go 2 to Tennessee. I don't have it in mind. Obviously, I have him going 3 to Cleveland. But, I mean, I don't know if he'll be there.
I mean, with the way...
In real life,
I
don't know if he's going to be there.
Yeah,
in the real draft.
I mean, just for the sake of the mock draft, the way I was working mine out, he wasn't going to go to a team earlier than 6 for me. So
I'll be genuinely mad if he goes 2 to Tennessee because I don't see...
Mariota, I have him falling far.
Okay, good. I know where you've been thinking.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Johnny Manziel effect. You just sitting, waiting around. Brady Quinn did that.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of guys have gone through that.
All right, at 7, with the Bears, I have them picking up Cooper.
Same.
Yeah. I think
that was a good pick. I had that originally.
You had Cooper going earlier, right?
I had Cooper going last round of the Jets.
Yeah.
I have White going 5, Cooper going 6, back-to-back receivers. I was going to put
sense.
Cooper at 7 because the Bears need to fill the gap that when they lost Marshall. But that Bears defense is hurt.
So they take
and they have
Beasley
no
there?
linebacker, so they take Beasley there.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean,
you can't argue either one.
Yeah, both of those picks are really good picks. Yeah, I mean they just need work.
But
on
I just
both
feel
sides
like
of the
you're
ball,
not gonna taking Cooper is not gonna fill the role of a Brandon Marshall because they're 2 totally different receivers.
Well, it also it gives them that possession, speed, balance.
Right, but it also puts a big burden on Alshon Jeffrey. On Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you're not giving him any help on the outside, but you're giving him a slot guy. So what that means is they're just going to continuously throw to Jeffrey, and the only time he's going to get a break is when they dump one off in the slot.
Yeah.
As to where it would be either one of them go up and get it.
But Cooper's fast. He can bust it down the sideline for a couple plays if you really want. So, yeah, I mean, it still could work, but they need to...
I think.
If Cooper's there, they can't pass on him. That would be hard for them to do. All right. At 8, with the Falcons, I have them taking Beasley.
Same.
You can't put him any lower.
See, I have Beasley going 7, and I have Dupree going to them. Alvin Dupree from Kentucky.
I have him going a little lower, but
Bud
yeah.
Dupree.
Huh?
Bud.
His nickname is Bud.
Yeah, that's his nickname. It's not true.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I think that, like I said this, I don't know who I said it to. I said it to one of you. If the Falcons they have a pick in every round. If they take someone that's not on defense in this draft, they're making a mistake. Every pick they have needs to be defense. Every single pick.
Well, they have
that's
10
one
picks
time
in
where
this
an
draft.
offensive line would not. Every pick needs to be defense.
Yeah.
That's how bad their defense is.
I definitely agree with you on that. All right.
Giants.
Beasley, and you had Dupree.
Yeah.
All right. So, number 9, Giants. Cameron, who do you have at 9 overall?
Linebacker, Randy Gregory from Nebraska.
Really? You think he's going to go 9 after all of the issues he came out with, too?
I mean,
He's a good player, but
defense is not good anymore.
Holy moly!
Yes, this was a jump.
I don't have him at all in the first round.
I
have him 9, and I don't have him on my board.
I have him like maybe 15 picks later.
I don't have him on the board.
But
he hasn't earned it.
To me, like when I was figuring this out, I was looking at kind of from like a Lions perspective. What do the Giants need offensively to kind of work this and make it better for them? So I put L. Collins from LSU. And that's a jump.
Early too,
that's a jump for him too. But size-wise, I think that he's just a good big tackle for their outside portion of the line. I mean, these linemen are pretty interchangeable, I think. So.
I don't. I looked at all the pro days, and that's why I'm taking Andres Pete here because they need a lineman to. Eli's
but at least we
older
agree that they need a tackle.
Right. Eli's getting older now.
Yeah.
We got to protect his backside. So I think Pete goes here. I have Collins in my first round, but he's really weak. Like I think it was like he did 240 like 5 or 6 times consistently. Like that's pretty bad for a big guy.
So number 10, the Rams. I have Devontae Parker going here.
Early.
It's early, but they need a wide receiver to kind of strengthen that. And I was actually really deciding between him or Jalen Strong.
You know what I think? That'd be really high because of his wrist injury that they're like scared of. Here's what I think. I think now that the general population's eyes and minds have changed after last year. Last year, football fans were given the absolute best receiving core ever. So now, I feel like after last year, when guys that were third-round draft picks, like Kenny Stills, that just
tore it up,
give every receiver now hope. You know, could Parker be this standout wide receiver? Could these rookie wide receivers step up? So, I mean, not a bad pick. But I think that a lot of these receivers are getting way more attention than they deserve. And a lot of it has to do with 90% of the receivers that came out last year had a heck of a year.
Incredible, yeah.
Right.
So who do you have the Rams taking at 10?
Scherf. They needed that. Like I said to him, I said Pete's the best tackle, but I think they need a tackle because part of the reason that they went through so many quarterbacks is because their offensive line was so bad.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think you take Brandon Scherf out of Iowa, good tackle.
Yeah.
I picked Jalen Collins out of LSU, the corner. Make that defense.
Jesus.
That's super early.
You guys are pulling these guys from like second round.
I said that going into this. I did say that. I pulled a lot of guys from the second.
I pulled guys from the second too, but it's closer to the end of the first.
Well, I had a lot of guys that were going like late first round, and I moved them up a little bit. But
you think that he's better than? Yeah, he's injured. Number one. You think he's better than Waynes?
And Johnson?
I have Waynes going next.
Yeah, so I don't know. If Waynes is available, I don't see how you can take someone who's injured and didn't have as good of a college career.
Tougher division, tougher conference.
You and your SEC. I'm an SEC guy too, but you can't just look at that.
I'm the only ACC guy here.
It's not like Waynes came out of Grambling State. He went to Michigan State.
I know.
Yes. But okay, I mean
that's hot.
You would take a cornerback for that team when they really need their offense to be fixed first. Just a couple holes. That's what's actually more surprising to me is you went defense. When we were just talking about how great that defense is.
You can.
Let me explain this to you. Last year, they had 2 corners that were phenomenal. On
E.J.
top
Gaines.
of E.J. Gaines, Tremaine Johnson.
Yes.
On top of an already Pro Bowl corner that's only been in the league for 2 years, Janoris Jenkins.
Yes.
They have 3 corners that are, in my eyes, in the top 20 in the NFL. I think that was a bad pick. I think that was not thought out. They do not need a corner. No way. You could tell me that they could take any other position, and I would agree over corner. corner does not fit for that
I think
team.
anything on defense would be wrong for me.
No.
I think
just corner. By far, their depth at corner is insane.
Yeah.
They have way too many corners. And the corners that they do have are good. So for me, to throw another corner in there, it'd just be a waste. It'd just be like...
I think the position that they could go for on defense would be like a linebacker. And I'm talking like inside linebacker, and none of those guys are first round.
I honestly think you could take any other... I would be more okay with taking a kicker. Their cornerback depth is insane.
Could they do something like what the Jets have, though? The Jets corner, something like that.
But the Jets have corners that can drop back and play safety because they're slow and they're bigger. The Rams have young speed corners that don't.
But it could be like the same
that run into you like cement trucks.
Yeah.
Like the Jets, you have Revis on one side, you have Cromartie, you have Scrine, and now you have Milliner.
They have 4 established corners. For them to have 5 guys interchangeable, the guy at the top would just be pissed that he wasn't playing every down.
Right.
I just don't see that as a move that needs to be made. I think this draft is really weak, so I'm not normally going to argue any pick that either of you guys make, but that one I'm going to throw a little argument in there because that doesn't.
It didn't make sense for me to draft defense for that team, but yeah.
I'm okay with drafting defense, but not corner.
So we'll go to Benelli, who started off with the 11th
Minnesota.
pick. We already know who Tierman's taking. He's taking Trey Waynes. Who are you taking?
The nose tackle out of Washington, Danny Shelton.
Okay.
Because they're comparing him to Vince Wilfork.
Yep.
Because he is so big.
He's
and
a
he's
big
a
dude.
purebred nose tackle.
He's like 330.
Right. He's a purebred nose tackle, which is tough to find.
Yeah.
So I think, Minnesota is another team that's kind of like a step away from having like a stout defense.
Mm-hmm.
Their secondary is good. Their linebacking core is pretty good. Throw a big nose tackle on there that will take on double teams and let the rest of that defense work. So I like that pick. I like taking Danny Shelton there.
Okay. I have Kevin Johnson going to the Vikings. I mean, I really struggled with this pick because there's a lot of areas where they can work, but there's no one specific area that's absolutely critical to them.
Never mind. I was going to say, how do you guys have these guys going before Trey Waynes? But I forgot you picked Trey Waynes. But
yes.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, it was hard for me to pick what Minnesota absolutely needed before anything else, and it's just kind of talent-wise, they have some guys that are there that are up and coming, and then there are guys that are just older, like Captain Munnerlin, that they can
Xavier
use.
Rhodes is one of the best corners in the NFL, though.
Yeah.
Chris Cook's pretty good if he can stay out of the back of a cop car.
So now we move to 12. For 12, I had this is my only trade that I have in the first round, but I have the Browns trading this pick to the Niners, who will draft Leonard Williams, and then at 15, the Browns take wide receiver Brashad Perryman super early, and I'm not disagreeing with you here, but what guys are left at that point? I mean, you have Jalen Sarton with his wrist. I already had.
See, this is where I picked Devontae Parker.
I have 2 more wide receivers going before you could take. Who was it? Perryman,
yeah.
The dude at Central Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. So you're in agreement that they would trade this pick.
Correct.
You're in agreement that this pick might get traded. This Browns 12th pick.
Yeah,
because I had it traded.
I'm not sure about that Perryman pick, but I'm definitely sure that Leonard Williams
will be available.
I'm sure he's available, and I'm sure he gets drafted by the Niners.
Because he went to USC, it fits.
No.
It does fit though, because he did go to USC.
Yeah, he did go to USC. It does.
I don't know how he's available though.
But I
don't think he's that good.
San Francisco really needs that defense.
Yeah.
So if he's still on the board, they need to take him.
This is where I have fun with this
all
pick.
Speculation.
This is where I have fun with this
What,
pick.
do you have like a double trade going on?
No, because it's Jacksonville's pick now, right?
Yeah.
Jacksonville made the trade.
For you, yeah.
And we said that how many more times can Jacksonville keep taking these wide receivers with these top picks? Well, now I feel better. I'm relieved.
Yeah.
12 is a later pick, so you can take a wide receiver and not feel guilty about it. If you take a wide receiver 3 and he's a bum, you feel guilty.
Okay.
You can take a wide receiver 12. That's where they take Parker.
Okay.
Let them take Parker. Now you're adding another piece to Bortles. You're not taking him as early as 3, and you still have another pick at 19. I love it.
Okay.
So I got Parker going there.
I picked Parker just going to Cleveland.
I got him going to Jacksonville.
Okay. 13 with the Saints. I did mine last night before I found out about everything that happened.
Shay Ray.
I had Shane Ray going at 13 to the Saints.
That defense sucks.
I can say that Shane Ray is not in my first round. He's not in my second round. He's not in my third round. He's going to be one of those guys that goes Saturday afternoon when you're outside cutting the grass.
Yeah.
That's when he's going to go.
Yeah.
Because reports came out that this is like his third time having this issue.
Yeah.
And NFL teams are starting to crack down. Mm-hmm. Unless you're the Bengals, they're starting to crack down, and the Bengals ain't taking him because we don't need him.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
I don't even
did
have
this,
him on here.
I
don't have him on here,
yeah.
And I don't have Gregory on here.
Yeah.
Two guys that have off the field issues.
Yeah.
They're not going.
I definitely I did this like 2 days ago, way before anything with Shane Ray had come out, so
yep.
I didn't change it. My bad.
I have Trey Waynes here.
Okay. That makes sense to them too.
This team needs secondary. This team needs a lot on defense.
Yeah, I mean,
I got Trey Waynes.
Their best player on defense is Vaccaro.
Kenny Vaccaro, safety out of Texas. Yep.
He's really good.
He is.
So with 14, who do you have the Dolphins taking?
I have them this is where I have them taking a corner. They have Kevin Johnson. I have them taking that.
Okay.
Because
I can see that.
Finnegan retired.
Yep.
Which was a key piece. Grimes is old. They're not really young. Why not take a corner there?
Yeah, that makes sense. Tierman, who do you have going at 14?
DJ Clemmings, offensive tackle. Pitt. No? Anyone?
I don't have him in
I
my
don't
first
have him
round.
on my board.
No.
I went offensive line again for...
There's a lot of guys.
For helping Tannehill. I just think it makes sense.
It's not a bad pick. I just don't even...
He's
I never even heard of the guy.
He's projected.
Yeah, same here.
He was like 17. Like his rank overall. On the mock thing I saw.
Was it Bleacher Report?
No, it was NFL Network.
I'm just joking with you,
Chris Miller Report?
The Chris Miller Report. Chris Miller, if you're listening, stick with hockey, buddy. I have the Dolphins taking a wide receiver, and this is a really big thing. But again, you're probably gonna cringe at this, but I have them taking Jarrell Green Beckham.
No.
Big receiver.
I knew you were gonna say DGB. No.
He's 6'5". They need a big receiver.
Nope. You didn't look this through. You didn't think about this, sir.
I'm
not even mad that you picked him. But he's going in the first round, but that's not where he's going.
He's going to go, what, to
We'll see.
Baltimore?
We'll see.
Okay. I think you have him going, 25 to Baltimore.
We'll see.
Okay. Tierman, did you already say who you have? You have Kevin Johnson? Or you have Kevin Johnson?
I have Kevin Johnson.
I have the tackle.
Oh, yeah, you have the defensive tackle that no one's ever heard of.
No,
the offensive tackle no one's ever heard of. Correct.
Until he goes there.
15, we already know who I picked. Who do you have at 15 going to the Niners?
This is what I'm thinking of from a coaching aspect.
Okay.
Gore left the team.
Yep.
Hyde is now the man.
You think they're going to draft Melvin Gordon?
I think that Hyde thinks that this is his team, but I've seen flashes from him in the downs
but not
he's played,
consistency.
But I want someone to come in there and compete with him for the job to make him better. I think that whoever they draft, he still deserves to start. Hyde does.
Yeah.
But give him, because right now it's just he's the man.
So you
they
think
have nobody?
So you think Gordon's going 15?
I think Gurley's going 15.
Okay.
I do.
Coming off that ACL?
Yep, coming off that ACL.
Okay.
When I read the report that his trainer said that he is 110%, which obviously every trainer is like a Barack Obama. They promise you things that aren't real. But
Trainers are hype men.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can honestly say that looking back, there are some people that do come back stronger than ever after an injury like that.
Gronk.
So I think Gurley. I think you have to take a running back there. I don't think that, like I said, this draft isn't strong enough where there's something that you would take that and you'd be like, oh my God, so-and-so's left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have Gurley in my first round, but
I'm taking
that makes sense.
I'm taking this to use this person
to compete
as a training aid to get Hyde, because Hyde can be really good.
That's rough on Gurley, though. I mean,
Hyde could be. It's a trash pick, obviously, but Hyde could be really, really good.
But in a rebuilding mode, is that what you want?
Yeah. What else can you take? Your secondary is okay. You take linebacker, but let's see. When I next linebacker, the next guy I have going that's a linebacker isn't until 27.
Okay, I have one more guy going actually right after this.
See, I went defensive tackle, Eric Armstead out of Oregon.
That's a lot of people are saying that Armstead will go there. That's very consistent. That a lot of people are saying that.
They lost their who's the big
McDonald.
Yep.
They lost him. Alden Smith's coming back finally for his first full year.
I think somewhere.
I like that pick.
It's a good pick. It's a safe pick, but it's a good pick.
Yeah, bet.
Yep, 16, Houston, Eric Armstead. He goes there. Make that defense just make that
unstoppable.
Line. Just make that line so scary.
Hold on.
If they could get a linebacker and run a 3-4, what would that team be?
Scary.
Who would their 3 down linemen be if you put Armstead? You have Armstead,
Big Vince,
Will Fork,
Clowney, and Watt.
No, put Clowney in the outside linebacker spot because he will play there. Then you can run a 3-4. Oh my God! It fits so beautiful.
So Clowney would play right outside linebacker?
Yeah, this is music to my ears. This is a beautiful draft. I should get paid to do this. If you put Armstead...
We are getting paid to do this, Benelli. What are you talking about?
All the sponsors. I should be the next Mel Kiper, only that I don't look as goofy or talk as goofy.
So who would be your McShay? Actually, no, he'd be your Kiper to your McShay.
And who are you, Schefter?
Yes! I would be Schefter all day.
This is where I have Mariota going.
You have him going to the Texans?
Yeah. I knew see it because they spent money on a quarterback.
I knew you'd do it, though.
I knew you would, too. They spent money on a quarterback.
Yeah.
It's one of those doesn't feel good in the gut to do. Because they just spent money on, what's his name, bum out of Arkansas that was the backup for...
Ryan Mallett?
Yeah.
Backup for Brady?
Yeah. Mallett.
The Brady spread?
Yeah.
So. Here at 16, I have Alvin Dupree. That linebacking core could use a lot of TLC. Cushing has had season-ending injury after season-ending injury.
See,
he's not the threat he was because he came off steroids a while ago. It's just a lot of...
I have a question now.
I mean, that sounds so great, Benelli.
Allergy season.
I have a question.
Good allergies.
Texans trade...
No.
No.
They're not trading that big.
No. They trade the safety guy. What's his name? DJ
Swearinger.
Him.
DJ, whatever his name is.
They trade him. Did they replace him with Collins?
No.
I have Collins fitting so beautifully where I have him. Please don't mess that up.
No,
I could see that.
I literally have Landon Collins in the most perfect spot ever. Oh, yeah. I'm a smart analyst.
Oh, yes.
17.
At 17, I have Andres Pete.
Love it.
Going to the Chargers.
I have linemen, too.
Okay.
They need an offensive lineman.
Who do you have?
Because, again, that's why I like it for the Giants. Your quarterback gets older.
Need
a
little
more
lineman.
Fragile.
Yeah.
Get that line. This is where I have L. Collins going.
Okay, so we just switch those picks. That's fine.
Where are we?
17, San Diego.
Keep up tier, man.
I have them taking a nose tackle.
Out of Washington.
Danny Shelton.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not a bad pick
either. Not a bad pick either. I mean, both sides of that line need a little bit of work from them. That's not bad.
I feel like the fun part of this draft is coming.
Yeah. 18, who do you have?
I have DJ Humphries, the guard out of Florida.
Hey, we got one.
Because
we got at least
that's
one.
That's great.
Alex Smith, if you can give him time with it, as average as he is, as we've said, he can. What was the big stat last year for that offense?
Zero wide receiver touchdowns. Yeah.
Now you have.
Oh, that sun is coming in.
Now you bring in, a pretty good wide receiver.
Yeah.
and you have a pretty good offensive line, and you give him time, I think that team is going to be all right. But I think that Smith needs the offensive line.
Finally got one with that.
Look at that.
That's right.
Tier Man is really happy right now.
Let's see if we got
I have them
Two
picking.
in a row?
I have them picking.
No,
I have them picking
seriously.
Jalen Strong just to kind of balance out Macklin coming in.
But that's the thing. It's Macklin's team now, obviously, because they got rid of
Oh, I'm not saying that it's
but
not.
I love
think a
Jalen
dual.
Strong.
I think a dual threat would be able
Right.
to.
Me and you both
be
love
successful.
Jalen Strong, but I just don't. I would take him. I'd take him 1. I love the guy, but I don't see him doing that because of his injury.
Yeah,
Teams get scared with that stuff.
but I mean, if you have
I have Gurley.
going before that, his injury was worse.
Oh, much worse.
Yeah.
Much worse. Much worse. But the careers, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Gurley's a little.
Gurley
bit
was a
better,
lot higher. Yeah. I mean, prior to his senior year, I probably would have taken Gurley in the first round
Gurley
last
could have
year.
went 1 if he never went down and
Yeah.
just kept killing.
Yeah. At 19, who do you have?
Most
you have-
underrated player in the draft.
You have the Jags with the 19th pick.
Right. Most
do you-
underrated player in the draft. Byron Jones, corner out of UConn.
Good pick.
The freak
Good
athlete.
pick. Yep. I do
of
have
all
him.
athletes.
I do have him.
Why?
Give him one, dude.
Why? Because Jacksonville is a step away
Being
on
good.
defense from being really good.
Yeah.
You bring in a stud like this is my sleeper pick. This is why I said it's getting fun. Because this man is a freak of nature,
Yeah.
as we've seen athletically. You bring him into a secondary that's already pretty good, I love it.
Tier Man, who do you have?
This
Good pick, Benelli.
This is where I have Bud Dupree going
Okay.
to the Browns.
That's also a solid pick.
I
I mean, Kruger's getting a little bit older. Dupree could fill that spot.
I will be so shocked if the Browns don't move at least one of their 2 first-round picks.
Yeah.
I really
same,
will.
Same.
But you don't have them moving at either one of them, though.
Right, I didn't do the trades. Sorry.
Tier Man, come
I'd
on.
be so shocked.
It's part of a mock draft.
Yeah, I know, but you
Um,
have one.
I had, yeah.
I have one, too.
I have the Browns taking Danny Shelton at 19.
I think he fits in Minnesota. That's why I like picking him. I have him going a lot earlier than you guys do. He's the only purebred nose tackle in this draft. That's
and
why
everyone
he's
can
valuable.
use everyone can use a good.
It's the Vince
a good
Wilfork
nose
effect.
tackle.
Everyone knows you bring him in, he takes on a double team. There
He
you go.
commands.
Everyone else
He
do.
commands.
It's like a
double
3-on-2
team.
fast break.
Yeah,
9 out of 10
I don't know what
times,
they're talking about.
3-on-2 win.
Basketball, probably.
Yeah. 3-on-2 fast break. 3 guys versus 2 guys.
Yeah.
3 are going to win more likely than 2. That's why if they take on a double team with Shelton, you got everyone else that gets a chance to go at the quarterback.
Yep.
Good pick.
At 20, here's where I have Byron Jones going to the Eagles.
Good pick. Good pick.
They just signed Maxwell to that big deal.
Good pick.
They need someone on the other side
Terry
of the field.
Williams is good. Good pick. Good pick, though. I
Look
like
at that.
That's a good
I have
pick.
a corner.
See, having
You don't have Byron Jones in your first round, though, I feel like.
That is correct.
hold on, but like
You are mistaking your life by not taking
he
him.
jumped 15 feet from a standstill position.
I can't stand UConn in any sport except for women's basketball. And I am going to tell you that I am giving all of the marbles into one bag, saying that man is the sleeper pick in this draft.
He jumped.
You have
he
2
jumped,
people I've never even heard of, and you don't have this man.
Nope.
by himself.
I know.
If you were to
I-
stand on Benelli's shoulders,
I
Benelli,
know.
you're what, 6'4"?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you stood on his shoulders, Byron Jones standing could jump over both of you.
Yeah.
If you guys were lying down, not straight up. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. He's 6
Yeah.
feet tall.
Yep.
I have them getting a corner.
Okay, as long as we're on the same lines.
I have them getting the corner from FSU. Darby.
Darby, yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I have them going
Good job
defense.
picking an FSU pick before me. Well, I picked Winston, but that doesn't count.
I don't have him in the first round.
Who do you have going to the Eagles at 20?
Eric Flowers, offensive tackle out of Miami.
That could help because they got rid of Evan Mathis.
They got rid of Evan Mathis, who's one of the best left guards in football. You bring in an offensive tackle. You got 4 quarterbacks competing for a spot.
Could Pete go there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just give whoever's going to be the quarterback of that nightmare team a line.
Here's where
Here's where it gets fun.
I've just been a pick off from you for the last couple picks because I have Flowers going 21 to your Bengals.
No.
When we're-
No.
Your boy's getting super old though. He's 34.
Whitworth.
Yeah.
I will be mad if the Bengals take a lineman here, because I said this before.
You want them to take Collins?
I said this before. You have AJ Green, wide receiver, monster, 6'5", right side all day. You then have Marvin Jones, who's
and Sanu,
pretty good, and Sanu, who really let me down, because when AJ Green didn't play in the playoff game and the team was on Sanu's shoulders, Sanu really couldn't compete. Here's who you bring in DGB. Oh my God, how beautiful is that? A 6'5" stud out of Oklahoma. You put him on the left side. You got 6'5" and 6'5", and he is my sleeper wide receiver that no one talks about because he has the size, speed, and upsize. He is like a Kelvin Benjamin with hands. Yes, I said it. He has
that
hands.
Hurts a little bit, but I definitely agree with you.
You have 2 6'5" guys. Oh my God, it fits so beautiful.
With no quarterback to give him the ball.
You're crazy. The best.
I'll give it 6 weeks into the season. I'll text you, and I guarantee your text will say
Dalton sucks.
Dalton sucks, but in a more crude way. I guarantee it.
Probably. But that fits, man.
Yeah, it does fit. It does fit.
Come on. That really
Give him
fits.
2 big targets to run down the field.
I'm interested to see what you have.
Because it's kind of like Tampa, where they have Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson, 2 guys that are 6'4" and up that can just run down the field. It's good.
I went corner.
You did. You already said this.
Kevin Johnson, out of Wake.
He won't be there.
No, he'll go earlier.
I'll be shocked if he's there. But if he's there, guess what? If he's there and they take him, I won't be mad.
Yeah.
I won't be mad. But you also have to remember, this team has so many young, recycled corners. We have Denard's little brother.
Yeah. Who's better?
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Give or take the season, yeah.
That's another team that has a ton of corners.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be mad because he's going to be good. But DGB, oh my God, that fits so well.
All right. Now that Benelli's done, wetting himself on that pick.
Nope. Next pick's even better.
I know. At 22, I have the Steelers taking Darby.
You guys are soft.
Hold on. I needed to throw a couple FSU picks in there, and I know they need defense really badly, so I went corner to start off with for them. They're another team like the Falcons.
Darby on there.
They're another team like the Falcons. All defense.
Yep.
All defense. I would have. I think
my pick of the draft, Landon Collins.
How
do you not take Landon Collins at 22?
Yeah.
You said you don't have that. You said that you had.
Reed. What does that say? Landon Collins SS.
Let me see. No, you have him going to the Packers.
No, I don't. The Steelers.
Hey, we got 2. If you don't take Landon Collins here, you are crazy. You just lost Palomalu. You bring in a guy who's a leader, who's a veteran, who's been there. I had this done before you said that. And I already told you that I had the same thing as you did in the calf, Tom. So anyways, that is the pick there.
That's a really good pick.
You got to have that. So seeing as Tierman used my pick, who do you have?
You do have Collins.
You have Collins that you got the pick from Daddy.
No, I told you because I told you that I didn't see a report that he visited New England like we said last week. So I looked and it says, he visited Pittsburgh,
which fits,
which makes sense.
Yeah. At 23, at 23, I'm going FSU back-to-back. Cameron Irving is going to the Lions.
Nope, bad pick.
Not a bad pick.
Very bad.
How?
That's a team that doesn't need an offensive line. That team doesn't need an offensive line.
Stafford is the second most sacked quarterback in the last 2 years.
Yeah, you know why? Because half the time, Raiola and his buddies want to go punch people in the face and get suspended a game.
But
how do you not go defensive line when they just lost their 2?
Jeez, if we have 2 in a row.
How do you not go defensive line here?
So, guarantee you both picked, Malcolm Brown?
Yes! Out of Texas. Hell yes. That is a great pick. You have to go defensive line. They just lost the 2
best things
they had, and they brought in Nada. Now you have Nada, and you have a solid rookie who's big. Look. Brown is the biggest defensive tackle in this draft. That's not Kevin Johnson or whatever his name, Shelton. Sorry, the nose tackle. So this is a must. You have to bring in a defensive lineman after you lost the 2 best. Hey, we got 3 on the first round, Tom. Pretty good.
Not even done yet, too. There's still a chance for more.
Probably
Look at that. So who do you got? You both have
we both
Brown.
have Malcolm Brown.
So at 24, who do you guys have going to the Cardinals?
Well, we don't have this one.
You know for a fact.
Positive.
Did you see what mine was?
No, because you already said the guy I have.
Oh, okay. I have Melvin Gordon. And I think that it's a 1-2 punch with him and Ellington in the backfield. And I think that Gordon could play significant downs.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the pick.
If we were to have done this draft like a month ago, I would have had Randy Gregory going here. I have Malcolm Brown going here. Selling that defensive line.
Not bad either. Not
yeah.
a bad pick.
I mean, I would have liked to go linebacker for them, but there's no linebackers left on the outside at that point, and there's no inside linebackers that you can take in the first round. So I think that they
there
can.
is, Tom.
Inside linebackers?
Yeah, we'll get to them in a minute.
Are we gonna go the Cowboys?
But so
No, we're
we're at.
I picked Gurley, Nick.
Okay,
got me.
So
I'm
running
sorry,
back.
Tier Man.
See?
Yes.
So it makes sense.
Okay.
I think they need
I
a running
picked
back.
Gurley.
Yeah. At 25 with the Panthers, I picked Melvin Gordon. They have Jonathan Stewart, but they need another
bomb.
He's a bum.
Yeah,
They
so-
got rid of Williams. He was a bum.
Yeah, so
That's
Gordon
a good pick,
fits in
too.
there too. So it's not just Cam Newton as the top passer and running back for that team.
I have Shaq Thompson out of Washington. Now, you want to know why I like this guy?
He's flexible. He can play safety and linebacker. Okay.
Which is cool.
Okay.
Because he hits hard and he's quick enough to play a safety. So you know what that says to me in the NFL? If you're quick enough to be a safety, if you're quick enough to be a safety, you know what they say? Son, you're never playing safety. You're going to play a linebacker. You know why? Because you can hit hard and you're quick.
Yeah.
And who wants an outside linebacker that can hit hard and that's quick? Especially on that team, that fits. That's who I've got.
Because they have Kuechly in the middle.
Oh, my God.
And Thomas Davis.
Dude,
Oh.
how perfect could that linebacker?
Oh.
That's why I said I love it. Every
Oh, no.
pick I said,
that's a
thought
good-
it was
that's a
team
good-
needs that I did on top of skill level. So
Yeah, because I was thinking last year, and I'm not just being an FSU guy again, that like Telvin Smith,
Yep.
who's
Yep.
he's Cam Chancellor size and fast, but he played linebacker for the Knowles. So I do like players like that who are very versatile. The only thing is, where do you play them at first? Because they might show that they're stronger in one area, one position than the other. So, yeah, but that's a good pick too.
Pick one.
Tier Man, who do you have? I didn't forget about you, buddy.
L. Collins, the offensive tackle.
All right, that team, could
I
always
feel
use.
as if Cam's getting hit every second play.
He is.
Yes.
So I think that makes sense.
Yep. Especially coming off of that back injury from last
Yeah.
year, that was crazy. So at 26 with the Ravens, Benelli, who do you have?
26. Here is where I have Pierman going.
Okay.
They need a receiver, but for him to go before DGB, I don't see it because he's not as big.
Yep.
But he's quicker,
Yep.
and that is a more honestly. If DGB dropped and they took him here, fine. But I think Pierman is closer to filling a role of Smith because he's quick.
Yeah.
So that's why I have
A
him.
lot of people are saying Dorsett would go here, but I don't see it because he's so small.
He's so tiny. He's
I have
quick.
Jalen
He's-
Strong.
Jeez.
That's a fall. That's good though. That's a good.
I
pick
have
for them.
him. I have him in the first round. But I've seen boards that have him going as late as the third round because of his injury. Teams are scared.
I just think you need to replace Torrey Smith.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
And
He's big and very athletic. He's not the quickest guy,
Right.
but he's very athletic and he's very big. Mike Evans isn't the quickest guy,
No.
but he's big and athletic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had. This is where I really started to dig into the second round for teams that needed receivers because I have Devin Smith going here. But I use so many receivers in the top half of the draft that you have to start taking into the second round at some point. But at least we're in agreement that they need to pick a wide receiver. I mean, this is a team that could surprise us and trade up for a chance to get a better receiver too, because they just need one. They need a number one receiver so bad that it's not even funny. 27 with the Cowboys. Benelli, who do you have?
27. This is where I have the inside linebacker. Don't sleep.
Okay.
Eric Kendricks,
Oh yeah.
UCLA.
Yep.
Very good pro day.
Yep.
very untalked about, but I think he's gonna be really good.
Quietly, he's done really well.
The Cowboys need a linebacker.
Yeah.
They can't keep. Who do you have?
They got Paul Dawson out
of okay.
TCU.
Yep. Not a bad pick either. But they need linebackers.
Because Sean Lee's always hurt.
Yep.
See, I think that they could get one of those guys in the second round. So I was thinking that they could go DT and grab Eddie Goldman, get a big fat guy in the middle out of Florida State. See, the second half of the draft is where I went Florida State heavy. Whatever.
I have Florida State heavy
hate on
too,
me.
And I didn't even want it to be.
Hate on me. Whatever. 28 with the Broncos. I dug into the second round for this too. They don't need a tackle, and a lot of the tackles are already taken for me at this point, so I went guard and got Laken Tomlinson, the guy from Duke.
Yep.
Did you have the same pick?
No.
I have Irving here.
That
Cameron Irving.
That makes sense too, and I do like that pick too.
Linebacker.
As much as it would hurt that for him to be there.
Like I said, obviously, I know more than all the guys who get paid to do this. We go over this. I know the most, and I'm the best that there is.
He's clearly so humble about it.
You guys can't deny it. So, like I said, I sit and I look.
Are you gonna Ron Jaworski us and tell us how many hours of film you've watched?
I watched
40 hours of tape.
2 hours of film yesterday.
I woke up at 3 a.m, watched 200 hours of film
yesterday. But hold on. This is what I'm saying. I want to show a trend. I sit, I look, I break down, and then I pick. Right?
He's the NFL Korner's Ron Jaworski.
Right,
Anthony Minelli, everyone.
Can you just say who it is?
Giant. I already did say who it was. I already did. Yeah, where the hell have you been?
He said
I'm
Cameron
explaining
Irving.
why.
Oh. Yeah.
Giants. Who did I have? Them taking a lineman. Why? Because their quarterback is getting old. Got to give him a little protection.
Correct.
San Diego. Well, who did I have him taking? A lineman. Why? Quarterback's getting old.
Yeah.
This guy is real old.
Yeah.
You gotta have the quarterbacks that are still studs. But
Peyton Manning's made of glass at this point.
Right, they're older guys. You gotta build a line around them. That's why I take this pick. See, in depth, you gotta be always thinking.
Yeah,
which
makes
is something
sense.
you didn't do with that pick for a corner going to the Rams.
He's gonna let you hear about that for a while.
That was bad.
Yeah.
I would take a punter.
The kicker from FSU.
I'd take a punter over
Aguayo.
Yeah, he's supposed to go.
That's my boy.
Like, in the second round.
Yeah, because the guy can kick like a set. The guy played like soccer in Brazil or something.
Yeah, and then they strapped pads on him. And who do you have going at 28?
Yeah, 28.
Eli Harold from Virginia.
You're just sneaking linebackers in there.
Yeah.
You have this going 28?
Yeah,
Denver.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, they could always use help at linebacker, but I think they have so many young guys at linebackers at stance that it's kind of tough to throw another guy into that mix. But yeah, I mean, they could always use help on that defense. All right, 29 going to the Colts. Tierman, we'll start with you because I forgot you a couple picks ago.
Eric Flowers from
the
U.
Miami tackle. I had him going to Philadelphia.
Yeah. Benelli, who do you have going to the Colts?
It was about 48 minutes ago. 48 minutes ago, this name was said in this room because you two jabronis had him going so much higher than he deserves to go.
Waynes.
But it fits here. And I already had Waynes.
That's
Waynes one of the Saints. I have Jalen Collins, the corner at LSU.
Oh, I don't have him picked.
How beautiful of a fit would that be to give Vontae Davis a buddy?
Yeah.
And a good buddy. They lost Sergio Brown.
Yeah.
There you go. What a fit. LSU pride, right there, SEC, with Vontae Davis. Beautiful 1-2 punch. It fits.
I didn't have
He
Jalen
was
Collins
said a while ago.
by Tierman.
You're right.
I didn't have him picked. In fact, he's not in my first round.
Oh, I had him going to the Rams.
Yeah, he's not in my first round. I have the Colts taking DJ Humphries, offensive tackle. Some of their line is getting older than others. They can always use that help, especially when you have a young quarterback like Luck. I do think that they could go secondary if they really wanted to as well. Give Davis help. All right, I picked number 30 now. Now we're like 15 minutes overtime, but I mean,
it's fun.
But we need to get all this done and out.
I'm hungry.
Tierman, you ate like what?
2 hours.
2 hours ago.
While he was cuffing.
Yeah.
Canes.
And forgetting his roots. Anyways.
Yes. Pick number 30.
Packers.
with the Packers pick, I have Eric Rowe going because I'm not going to pick Jalen Collins. He's too injury prone. He didn't have that good of a career down at LSU. Cooper burned him like no one's business.
My God, yeah. That was not even the quickest guy.
That was dumb. But I have Rowe going because the Packers need to rebuild that cornerback position. They lost too many guys. Who do you? Tierman, you want to go first?
This is where I have Eddie Goldman going.
Yeah. Yes!
Okay.
Eddie Goldman, your cousin at FSU.
Yes!
They need a defensive tackle because the defense is hurting.
That and they lost Raji.
And, yep,
Well,
I never thought Raji
him.
was that good, though.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm saying that.
But, hey, they need to go defense. Wow, we got 4?
4 out of
Who would have
32
ever
picks
thought?
so far.
Who would have ever thought? We don't agree on anything.
Yeah.
I like golf, he hates golf. I like good food, he hates good food.
I mean, we had 5 picks in the top 15 that were like the same
close.
too, or something along those lines. I think
Me and him don't agree on anything, and I'm impressed.
All right. So
Saints.
now we go to 31 with
This
the Saints
is another beautiful
taking
pick,
the
ladies and
Seahawks pick for Jimmy Graham earlier in the
Yep.
in the offseason was one of the first moves
Yep.
that we reported here. I have them taking a wide receiver, the guy out of USC, Nelson Aguilar.
Well, he's not supposed to go to late second round, but
there's so
wide
many.
receiver.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Who do I have? None other than a perfect fit, as they've all been. Jalen Strong. You lose your big, strong-bodied tight end.
Yep.
You lose your speed with Kenny Stills.
Yep.
You now give Breeze a beautiful, big, athletic target.
Yeah. Works.
Boom.
Wide
Works.
receiver.
Jalen Strong.
I feel like
you gotta go receiver here.
I feel like position-wise, we've either been on point or completely off point, but similar thinking. Man, who do you have?
Have them going defense with Marcus Peters out of Washington.
Not a bad pick.
Not a bad pick. Whoop.
Red.
All right, your video just went dark pretty much because of the light, I think.
It's the light, yeah.
Oh, that stopped it.
No, it's gone.
Okay.
That's just the light.
No, that just took a picture, actually. All right, so now we get to the last pick of the first round of our NFL mock draft. I know we talked about this last week. I'm going to get this out of the way. You can shame me all you want. I had Landon Collins going here.
Ew. The only reason I like the pick, but the only reason why it won't be there.
He's not going to be there.
He's not going to be there.
Right. But I refuse to believe that they're going to take some no-name defensive tackle or something like that.
They're going to take Phillip Dorsett out of Miami. Speed receiver. They need a receiver.
I hate that so much because I want them to grab a Jalen Strong who's 6.
Those guys will
plus.
be gone.
I know
if
that.
the draft goes the way it should, the big guys, the Whites, the Parkers, the GGBs.
GGBs?
Yes, DGB.
You said GGB, dude.
Oh, the DGB, all those guys will be gone. Pierman's not big.
He's 6'2". He's LaFell-sized, yeah. Patriots, listen to me. Focus right here. Do not grab Dorsett. I don't care how fast he is.
He's so fast.
He's super fast.
He's very tiny, but he's fast. And now what you do is you have him and Edelman, and you create a new scheme of things where you throw the ball 30 times a game
to guys that are under 6 foot tall.
No, you throw the ball 30 times a game to do what Denver does and throw 5-yard passing plays.
Yeah.
So they did in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And how did it work? Tom, who won?
Seattle.
There you go.
Yes.
I didn't watch the game.
Well,
you watched Disney movies.
I said, not a surprise to any of us.
Oh, man.
See, I have 2 people
that could go. All right, who are your picks here, man?
If he's there, I have them getting Melvin Gordon.
Okay. They could use a running back.
Yep.
Good pick. Or
if he's not there, I'm sold on Sammy Coates.
Nope.
Nope, not sold on him.
I don't have Sammy Coates going in the second round.
I would have him going 3rd round earliest.
Yep.
Because of his
Maybe
hands.
late second round. His hands terrible. We were watching when they were doing the drill. It was the drill. You'd go, you'd slant route 10 yards, and you'd zig out 10 yards, and you slant route, and there's the quarterback right there, and they're literally catching and drop, catch and drop, catch and drop, catch and drop. And with him, he would just drop, maybe a catch, drop. We watched the NFL Combine, and I watched. You don't remember watching the NFL Combine?
You? No. That one day, it was you and Cam.
You were in my room for a good 4 days watching the NFL Combine.
I guess I was.
But we were watching the NFL Combine, or at least I was.
I was too.
We were texting about it in the group.
Yeah.
Oh, I was watching it in my house. Yeah, I remember this.
And
come on,
we
Larry.
talked. Yeah, you don't remember how you had for lunch. We talked.
And that's why he's still hungry.
We talked. He's a bum. He's such a bum. We talked about coats. I remember specifically me and you talking about coats.
Because the Patriots were talking about...
Right. Because his hands aren't that good.
Yeah, no. Don't take him. Don't take coats.
Look at last year. They got easily.
I'm not saying that was a good pick.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying that's a bad pick. But
his value, I don't know. His value is like still high.
Yeah.
I know.
For some reason. I mean, who knows? So there you have it. That concludes our one and only mock draft for the entirety of this show.
But cool news. Friday is a mega boom show.
So
everything goes down on Friday. It is the last NFL Korner
ever
of the year.
Tierman will be here.
Not ever because this is something that we could continue to do through different forms of media. So not ever, but as far as this year and as far as at Newberry College, this will be the last NFL Korner. But it's this Friday. It's a 2-hour show with a lot of special guests. We're going to be giving out Super Bowl predictions.
Yep.
And it's going to be a 2-hour show from 9 a.m.
Kind of like this.
9
a.m.
Right.
Show.
9 a.m. to 11. And the best part about this is you will get to see this man at 9 a.m. Now,
he looks like he's still asleep and his eyes are wide open. It's great. They're kind of like closed.
He's ready to go. He's going to have
napping.
the coffee ready.
I'm not getting you a coffee.
He's going to have the coffee ready for Friday morning and we'll be ready to go.
Why don't you ever buy me?
So I was just going to mention this before Benelli said, but
how pumped are you for Friday? Let's just go around the room real quick.
I'm super pumped for Friday because I remember you and I talking about this.
Right. Tierman's on J-Swipe right now, but anyways.
I'm J-Swipe.
Which is the Jewish Tinder.
I remember you and I talking about this last semester. Yeah, early last semester in like September.
To have like a
about doing this show.
Yeah.
And then it took a couple months. We had a lot of technical problems early on. We did a lot of shows to ourselves pretty much, but they were good. And so when we finally started going on air, when we added Tierman into the mix, we taught him a couple things.
It's taken off. It really has taken off.
But it's been such a great thing because, you know, even if you have like a crappy week, Tuesday we come on air, we just shoot the breeze pretty much. Topics are limited, but we shoot the breeze for like 90 minutes without commercials.
And it's football, man.
Yeah, it's
nothing
great.
better. I know me and Nick, we love football. Tierman,
it's my life.
Football is definitely my life. Tierman, some days you like it. Some days you like chicken nuggets. I don't know. But
what's wrong with chicken nuggets?
But
absolutely nothing when they're dino shaped for you, little buddy.
Can't wait for the show on Friday.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
We're gonna have our goal is to have around 8 to 10 special guests
because we're gonna have them cycling in, just doing Super Bowl picks and leaving.
Because we're gonna break down,
just leaving the door open and just having them walk in and out, pretty much.
Basically, what the show is gonna be a breakdown
of the first round,
of what happened in the first round,
and then Super Bowl.
We're going to do that for about the first 45 minutes
to an hour,
right?
Yeah.
And then the Super Bowl picks aren't just going to be this is why someone's going to win. We're going to look at this now. The draft is like the final step for summer, and summer means preseason, and preseason means the real season's right on the corner. So we're gonna say, look. This team made these moves. This is who they drafted in the first round. This is why they're going to be good.
Good, bad, different.
Right. So it's not going to just be we're picking Super Bowl. It's going to be interactive talk about why this is going to happen.
Yes.
It's going to be a great show. I know you're looking forward to it. I know you got the coffees ready.
I'm not getting you a coffee. You get me a coffee.
So here's the outro, guys, because now we're running at 2 hours almost. Thank you guys for listening. If you're listening to this on Newberry College Radio, or for watching this, if you're watching this on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube, I'm a couple episodes behind. So much going on with like finals and everything. They're also taking forever to download because 6.1 gigs doesn't download as fast when your laptop is really slow. But be sure to follow us on Twitter at the NFL Korner 3. We will continue using this Twitter account even after we're done with the show. Good job, Cheer Man. Look at you. Just keep going. Just keep interrupting me. And we wanted to let you know. Wanted to let you guys know. I cannot talk.
Friday. Be tuned in. Squad will be here. Roll Tide.
Yeah. No. Go Knowles.
No.
This will be our last show ever on Newbury College Radio. It will be Friday, May 1st, because we're all seniors. We'd like for you to spread the word and get everyone to listen, everyone you know to listen in. We will be tweeting out the link for the station and the show, and then you guys.
Phone number.
and we'll be going on live from 9 to 11. If we will tweet out Cheerman's number, and if you want, this will be a one-time only thing. You can call in and let us know what your opinions are. It doesn't matter where you are around the world.
Yeah, we'll do a call-in.
And
be like Jerry Springer.
Yeah, well, it'll be a 2-hour show, an hour on draft and draft grades, and then like the next hour on Super Bowl predictions. Thank you guys again for listening. This has been the NFL Korner on Newbury College Radio, the sound of Nighthawk Nation. Peace, guys.